This is presented by HBS Connect, Japanese freight forwarder in Japan.
Hello, this is Eno. Today I'll be delivering key logistics updates from early June 2025. We'll be covering three major topics: the surge in ocean freight rates to North America, the impact of the de minimis rule revision on air cargo, and CMA CGM's resumption of Red Sea operations. Let's dive in. Ocean freight rates to North America soar, panic buying triggered by tariff cuts. Ocean freight rates to North America are projected to spike starting in June. The main driver is a surge in demand due to a temporary reduction in tariffs between the U.S. and China. Previously, the U.S. imposed tariffs of up to 145% on Chinese imports. However, under a new bilateral agreement, these tariffs have been reduced to 30% for a limited 90-day period. As a result, importers and retailers in the U.S. are rushing to secure goods before tariffs are reinstated. This sudden demand spike is heavily impacting freight rates. As of June 1st, shipping costs are expected to hit $6,000 per 40-foot container to the West Coast and $7,000 to the East Coast. These figures represent nearly double the current levels and in a significant rise compared to the end of March. Some carriers are reportedly planning to raise rates to $8,000 starting June 15. While it's unlikely rates will reach the pandemic-era peaks of $20,000 to the West Coast and $30,000 to the East Coast, the recent increases are attracting serious attention. The temporary tariff reduction is expected to expire in late August. As a result, peak demand may continue through mid to late September, just before China's National Day on October 1st. There's also the potential for growing momentum towards sourcing outside of China, further contributing to an uncertain outlook. Understanding the current freight surge and its causes will be critical in shaping future supply chain strategies. A turning point for air cargo? The impact of the de minimis rule revision. On May 2, 2025, the U.S. abolished the application of the de minimis rule for goods from China. This ended the system that allowed e-commerce goods from China to enter the U.S. duty-free. The de minimis rule originally exempted imports worth less than $800 from tariffs. This rule had enabled massive volumes of low-cost goods to be flown in from China via e-commerce platforms such as Temu and Shein. However, with the exemption now removed and an additional $100 surcharge per shipment introduced on May 14th, air transport of such goods has become virtually unfeasible. As a result, air cargo demand from Asia to North America has sharply declined. For the week of May 12th to 18th, cargo volumes fell by 8% year over year. In contrast, air freight from Asia to Europe increased by 19%, prompting airlines to rapidly restructure their networks. Airlines that had focused on e-commerce cargo are now shifting toward general B2B freight, and charter flights are expected to decrease. With the heat around e-commerce logistics cooling, general cargo is once again drawing attention. Moving forward, air cargo is expected to specialize more in high-value shipments, such as pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, and precision equipment. Speed remains a strength of air freight, but the industry is entering an era where the question, why air, must be clearly justified. The revision of the de minimis rule marks a pivotal moment for the future of air logistics. CMA CGM resumes Red Sea operations. What lies ahead for Suez Canal shipping? French shipping giant CMA CGM has announced plans to resume routes through the Red Sea. This is the first such move by a major carrier and represents a major step toward normalizing Europe-bound shipping via the Suez Canal. Previously, many carriers had diverted their vessels around the Cape of Good Hope due to attacks by the Houthi rebel group on container and car carriers in the Red Sea. However, a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, along with a 15% toll reduction by the Suez Canal Authority, likely contributed to CMA CGM's decision. By returning to the Suez route, shipping distances are reduced and fuel consumption can be cut, offering potential cost savings. However, with safety concerns still unresolved, it remains unclear whether other carriers will follow suit immediately. For shippers, the shorter route and lower costs are attractive. However, the risks of renewed attacks are real, and careful decision-making will be required. The industry is watching closely to see whether CMA CGM's move will prompt a wider return to Red Sea operations. In early summer 2025, the logistics industry is at a major turning point. Ocean freight rates are surging due to sudden demand shifts, air cargo is being reshaped by regulatory changes, and geopolitical developments are prompting new route decisions. For shippers and logistics providers, the ability to respond quickly and flexibly to evolving policies and international events is more critical than ever. Accurate information and a clear understanding of how these changes affect one's supply chain will define future competitiveness. Ongoing vigilance and the ability to turn disruption into opportunity will be key. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.
In this channel, I explain about international logistics knowledge for your better understanding. I hope this video will be a good support for your logistics job. If you have any shipment from Thailand or to Thailand, please feel free to contact me Ino-san anytime. Also, I'm very motivated to keep updating this video. If you subscribe, press good or comment anything. Well, thank you. See you next time.